On today's show, GMC unveils the SUV variant of the Hummer EV, and we learn where it varies from its pickup sibling. Tesla yet again breaks new records with its first quarter production and delivery, and bidirectional charging is coming to all MEB-based Volkswagen EVs next year. These stories and more coming next. This is Ecotricity's ECOTEC roundup show from New Zealand's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we're the leading supplier of electricity to electric vehicles in New Zealand. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup in the world of clean cars and green energy. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for letting me take a week off last week. We start today with the official unveiling of the Hummer EV SUV last weekend. Timed to coincide with the NCAA Final Four tournament, the SUV sibling to the already unveiled Hummer pickup is, frankly, another exercise in excess. In addition to a choice of double-stacked Ultium battery packs and 830 horsepower or 619 kilowatts if you prefer, the Hummer EV SUV features the same WTF mode as the pickup, which GMC says stands for Watts to Freedom, but we all know what it really means. Then there's power everything, including power folding seats, not to mention cameras everywhere, off-road extract mode and four-wheel steering. For an EV entering the marketplace, it is certainly over the top. But for a relaunch with EV power, well, it's certainly on brand and on point. While I was away in California, Kia revealed its first e-GMP-based electric car in the form of the all-new Kia EV6. And I've got to say, it's quite a looker, especially its range-topping GT variant. With the 800-volt architecture offering super-fast charging, advanced driver-assistance technology, and the same vehicle-to-load capabilities we saw in the recently revealed Hyundai Ioniq 5, because they're based on the same platform, there's a lot to like in this car. A choice of 58 kilowatt-hour or 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery packs and a choice of all or rear-wheel drive variants give lots of flexibility for buyers, while its GT variant has a sprint time of just 3.5 seconds. I think this means it will become something of a halo car for the Kia EV family. It'll go on sale later this year. Last week was the end of March and the end of the first quarter of the year, and that of course meant Tesla pushed its quarterly delivery estimates. While these figures are technically preliminary, Tesla has a reputation for being really accurate in its estimates, and this time these figures show an impressive new record. In total, Tesla made 180,338 Model 3 and Model Y combined during the quarter and delivered 182,780 Model 3 and Model Y combined. It made no Model S or X during the quarter as it was retooling for the refreshed variants, but it did manage to deliver 2,020 of the outgoing Model S and X that it had in inventory. Both figures are a record for the company, being a little more than the Q4 figures from last year. This weekend, the new season of the FIA Formula E World Championship kicks off, and this season, there's a new safety car, the Mini Electric Pacesetter. Inspired by the John Cooper works, it's essentially a hot hatch variant of the already fun Mini Cooper SE and features all of the extras required of a safety car. BMW is clear in its press release announcing the new safety car that it hasn't built this vehicle for public roads, but says, quote, "It does reveal one of the directions we could take with the electrification of the JCW brand." Take from that what you will, but I think it means that Mini is heading towards a planned all-electric future, hot hatch, road-legal, John Cooper Works Mini. I think it's something we should most certainly be looking forward to. If you've been paying attention, you might have picked up on the fact that we had an Arcimoto FUV last week on a very short-term loan, and as such, we're going to be publishing a review based on our initial impressions very shortly. But this week, there's some more news from Arcimoto, namely that it's just published its 2020 financials and hired a chief international business officer. The former categorically disproved some pretty insane and insidious claims being made by an Arcimoto short this week, who was trying to imply that the firm had been lying to investors about orders and only delivered a few FUVs. The latter highlights that Arcimoto is readying itself to open up international orders for the FUV. I'm not going to preempt my review, but let's just say as a biker, I was surprised at just how much I enjoyed myself, and I might want one. Last November, BMW Motorrad showcased a prototype scooter called the Definition CE04 Concept, a vehicle which the brand said was near series production at the time. This week, we learned that that is indeed true, with new design IP filings from Europe showing that BMW has locked the electric scooter design in and is now edging into series production. The overall shape, which reminds me of the Sinclair C4, is largely unchanged, with only a few tweaks to ensure it meets all road legal requirements. Sadly, the video you're seeing here is of the concept, but frankly, as the design is so similar, I'm curious to know, assuming it's not stupidly expensive, if you put down money on one. Tell me about it below. Cupra, the premium performance sister brand to Seat, which of course is also part of the Volkswagen group, has been teasing video this week of its first electric car, the Cupra Born, undergoing winter testing. While the Cupra Born is still wearing camouflage, you might recognise the overall shape of the car, and that's because it is essentially built on the same MEB platform as the Volkswagen ID.3. And that, of course, means it's likely to get the same deal of ID.3 specifications and battery pack options. Cupra says its latest testing is the result of more than 2 years of engineering from the brand into the vehicle, and promises we'll get to see the final production Cupra L Born in just a few weeks' time. As usual, when the reveal happens, we'll be here to bring you all of the important bits. A deal that had been announced back in February last year between Hyundai and Canoo, which was expected to see Hyundai and Canoo work together to build electric vehicles, is now officially dead. As an investor call on Monday this week, which took place without the company's CEO, Canoo chairman Tony Aquila confirmed that the deal was officially off, and while the exact deals of this are not known, Canoo has removed all mention from Hyundai from its online investor relations publications. With the company now on the stock market, thanks to an earlier reverse merger with a SPAC this year, it's not clear what lies in the company's future. But I should probably note that the investor call took place the same day that it was announced that Canoo's CFO had just resigned. Take from that what you will. One of the really cool features of Volkswagen's MEB-based platform, on which the ID.3, ID.4 and several other Volkswagen Group vehicles are built, is that it was intended to have vehicle-to-grid and vehicle-to-infrastructure capabilities in mind. At launch of both the ID.3 and ID.4, two-way power transfer wasn't enabled, but this week, Volkswagen confirmed that all of its ID family of electric vehicles, as well as other electric vehicles built on the Volkswagen MEB platform, will feature bidirectional power transfer as of next year. To take advantage of this functionality, you will of course need a charging station that's compatible with the new CCS V2G standard. It's not clear if existing models will be capable of gaining the functionality via an over-the-air software update, but frankly, this is exciting stuff. As I'm sure you're all aware by now, a significant proportion of our team love motorbikes. Both myself and Kate Walton-Elliott cut our motorcycle teeth on MZs back in the noughties, and our recent hire Winter also has 3 bikes. So when a new motorcycle crosses our desk, we all get a little giddy. And that's exactly what we did when we learned about New Zealand company FTN Motion. Its Street Dogs cafe racer-inspired mopeds aren't exactly fast, but they certainly look the part. And the company has just closed a successful $500,000 Kiwi investment round that was oversubscribed by about 60,000 Kiwi dollars. Eventually, it wants to produce higher power, higher speed motorcycles too, and I'd love to put this one through its paces. You gotta love some classic design lines there, right? Plus, it's homegrown. Good job. The Nissan Leaf is now more than 10 years old. But while some other electric vehicles of similar ages seem to be doing just fine on their original battery packs, many Nissan Leafs aren't because of a refusal by Nissan to provide Leafs with adequate thermal management when they were being designed. Of course, Nissan will send you a replacement battery pack, but prices for that are insane, even if you can get hold of one, which is where the growing cottage industry of aftermarket battery replacements come in. And this week, our buddies over at Fully Charged did an amazing video covering Cleverly EV in the UK and its aftermarket upgrade service for UK Leafs. Based on the excellent work by Muxan in the Netherlands, it's well worth a watch, and if you're a Leaf owner, we think that you'll want to know about our own video covering Nissan Leaf battery upgrades coming soon. So watch this space. And finally, as our cars get smarter and smarter, there are a host of great things we can look forward to. Safer driving, thanks to semi and fully autonomous features, remote unlocking and preconditioning, thanks to telematics, and even keyless ignition from your phone, not to mention over-the-air software updates. But there are apparently some downsides, at least according to a social media post that's doing the rounds. According to one Facebook user from Utah, a friend of his is a specialist in recovering repossessed vehicles and recently had to repossess a Tesla whose owners had stopped making payments. Allegedly, and I should point out that we've not been able to corroborate this story, Tesla located the car in question, backed it out of its parking space, honked the horn, and then unlocked the doors to facilitate the car's towing. I've got to admit, though, that's pretty scary. And on that sober note, we are done for the day. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next episode. And if you haven't yet switched, why not consider switching to New Zealand's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company? It is super easy to make the switch, and when you do, you'll help wean New Zealand off dirty energy and onto clean, green, renewable power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. I'll be back soon with more great videos for you all to enjoy, but until then, I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Ka kite! See you next time!